Welcome to Halloween Town, live from the Intel Spook Arena, as we're back in, plugged in for a very Halloween exciting episode of ESL Pro League, joined by the wonderful SEO himself.
How's it going?
Not too bad. Ready for a day of frightening games?
Potentially, a bit spooky. Might be a bit ghastly around here.
It could be. It could be quite scary. Something that was absolutely bone-chilling, Benjamin, was yesterday's game. Let's have a look at the results from that one and break it down. To open it up, we saw Hellraisers, living up to the Halloween theme there, of course, the Pinheads. They went on to get a double win in both of their best-of-ones versus Fnatic, taking the game 16-5 and 16-13, Ben.
Yeah, it was a strong 2-0 win for them. After that, we saw AGO against Na'Vi, which we built up to be a very one-sided affair. However, AGO surprising us quite a bit with the performance, taking that train map right there. But, you know, you can argue it regressed to the mean. Na'Vi finally showing up, taking Mirage back. And to end it all off, we saw Astralis actually have a bit of a struggle against Windigo, I think it's fair to say. It
was a very long, drawn-out series, as you can tell by the scoreline there, 16-13 and 16-14. But for the most part, what you might not realise from that scoreline is Windigo were actually leading on Overpass and looked like the better team.
Yeah, I believe it was 12-5 at one point, which, to consider they then won 3 or 1 round of the next 12, it was a pretty clear, let's say, collapse, I guess one way of describing it. Astralis purely showing that they are one of the best teams available. The composure, the ability to come back in a game like that just shows why they are the best.
Yeah, some strong sides there and good mental fortitude to bring themselves back into it. But let's move on now and have a look how the standings were affected by the games that were played out yesterday. Windigo, they might have won a map, but they're still dead last at 14th. And Astralis and Na'Vi have now 100% confirmed their places at the LAN finals as well, Ben.
Yeah, there's quite a separation. If you think about the gap between second and first, it's only 5 points. Second and third, 6 points. And then even bigger, third, fourth, there's 11-point gap there. But the big one for me, obviously, would be FaZe and then Space Soldiers. You see 7th and 8th. That's the difference between qualifying for the actual LAN finals and not. Space Soldiers, they've got a lot of games in hand to play, and it is actually possible that they could sneak a position into that top 7.
Yeah, they're going to need to have some good results. And if we actually move on to today's schedule as well, we can see that Space Soldiers are going to be opening up the stream for us versus North. That is going to be Mirage and Train. Is there potential for some points there, Ben?
I feel like there definitely is, right? Space Soldiers, they've been a team that we've seen quite often so far on the B stream, and they've been performing quite well when we've seen them. You know, there's the game against Astralis, for example, which they probably feel like they should have got more out of, but ultimately they'd be happy with it. I believe it was 2 points from it. So they're a good team. However, North, a team that actually are in the top 7 currently, they're looking to actually secure that LAN final spot.
Yeah, they want to really set themselves in stone and confirm they will be going to the event. After that one, though, we'll be moving down to Cash and Inferno, where we'll see Mouse Sports and Ago facing off. Now, Ago, they had an upset versus Na'Vi yesterday, but can they do that again versus the likes of Mouse Sports?
Yeah, Ago, it's a bit of an easier matchup if you compare it to yesterday. However, Mouse, they're not exactly an easy team to play against, right? You know, you've got Steeko now returning, and they looked pretty good when we saw them, even that first few days. It's a big ask for them to actually get a win there, but you got to be hoping that the same sort of momentum, they at least get 3 points out of it, like they did against Na'Vi. And then after that, we'll be seeing Windigo against Fnatic. Windigo, they'll be quite disappointed they didn't get any points on the board yesterday, but that can at least be a confidence builder for them going into a game like this.
Yeah, they're really going to need to get some strong results there. Windigo versus Fnatic, I mean, that one probably going to be really a bit of a bloodbath to round it off. It feels like we could have some, pretty calculated CS for the first 2 games, and then probably an utter brawl to round us out at the end of the night. So let's get into today's opening matchup then. Space Soldiers versus North. That is going to be Mirage and Train for the 2 maps in the series. Ben, what are your initial thoughts?
Yeah, a bit of an interesting train, I think, or at least in terms of Space Soldiers, right? Because we always talk about how they're a team who have no designated AWPer. Train, a map traditionally known as a map for an AWPer to dominate. So you've got to be thinking that's, a major hindrance straight off the get-go, right? Yeah, this team, you have see Paz picking up sometimes Major does as well. There's no stereotypical strong AWPer there, whereas on the other side of things, we've got North, they've got Cadian, who, he is the IGL, but he's still a capable AWPer. It's got to be, straight off the bat you think, Train is probably going to be famous North. Mirage, on the other hand, it's a map for aimers to show their skill, right? And Space Soldiers got plenty of those.
Yeah, they have a ton of raw talent, right? That's normally where they dominate, is when they actually feel confident in themselves and you just see players popping off. Now, the interesting thing is, it feels like at times we haven't actually seen the big man himself, Xantara, as being the dominant force. It's actually been a bit of a passing of the baton around the other players in the squad. At times we saw Paz step up. Even Major had a huge game as well. So it's been quite interesting how Space Soldiers have looked currently. Yeah,
it's one of those things where we'll see Xantara and instantly think he'll be the man to go to. However, as you mentioned, Paz had a strong game, Major as well. Both on Inferno, there was really strong performances. But Mirage, it's a bit of an interesting one because I feel like Sansaris, there has to be a certain amount of games where after a while you got to expect a big game from him.
Yeah.
Right, because there was the game at the Blast, for example, he had 36 kills and everybody's like, oh, he finally shows up for a game. But then he kind of disappeared again. We must be thinking it's about time for one of those kinds of games to come up.
It's like a claw machine, Ben. You know, it's 1 in 20.
At some point it will.
At some point, Xantares is just going to grab on and then
destroy his opponent.
Yeah, the claw will win.
Yeah. So I feel it's just a matter of time. But we even mentioned like Kali X as well. It's another player who, before he joined Space Soldiers, he was being hyped up as a similar player to Xantares. And he hasn't really done, you know, he's had the same sort of thing impact-wise. It's been quite low, not really having any fantastic games by any means. Very average, if anything. Well, it's not bad to have average games. You got to be thinking you must want him to pop off at least once in every, say, 10 games, though. Yeah,
he needs a little bit of consistency coming back into that form to give them an edge. Talking about who will have the edge in this matchup, let's have a look at today's odds for the opening game. So it is actually going to be, the advantage for North there. Obviously, in terms of the standings, a little bit more lenient. You can expect that they are the ones currently predicted to go towards the LAN finals, whereas Space Soldiers, they need to move up the standings if they want to achieve that. So not too ridiculous odds either. It's the 1.45 to 2.37 then.
Yeah, not too surprising. As I mentioned, the standings is probably quite a big factor in this actual prediction. And if you think about Mirage, I guess Space Soldiers, they have played it quite a bit, but it's not one of their forte maps, right? Whereas North, they've probably played it quite a few times the past few days. And ultimately, North, they're probably thinking we are a better team currently. We're a better 5. Although they've not been together for as long as Space Soldiers, they're actually getting the results needed, though. As you mentioned, Space Soldiers, they need to get a win on the board. Especially as, you know, the separation, I think it was 11 points. They do have games in hand on FaZe, but you still need to win those games to actually get up there.
Yeah, that's the risk they run, right? Is FaZe, although they've played a good majority of their games, they're in a good position. They've at least secured themselves some kind of a foot in, and obviously as long as they can keep a bit of consistency up towards the end of the season, they'll be fine. For Space Soldiers, they do have games to play, but they're not guaranteed to win those. And if they start letting, you know, points slip away very early on, they're at least, you know, if they can walk away with 3 points as a minimum from each series, there's potential there, but you need to at least be getting those one-map trades.
Yeah, that's something we've seen from them quite a bit actually so far this season. They've had a lot of games where they'll look really good for one map, they might get 2 points, maybe 3, and then the next map they'll kind of fall apart. It'll be a completely different showing. So hopefully they do keep, you know, at least try and find a consistency, like a level that they can set themselves at. A flat situation where this is what our normal performance is like. From that we can build. However, it's, you know, it's up in the area. We don't really know because Space Soldiers, they had the issues with the organisation as well. Like it was quite a few different things coming in at different angles trying to affect how they might play. And we first thought that, you know, having the issue with the organisation, they might be able to build from that and actually try and show we are worth this, somebody can pick us up, sort of thing.
Because that's the idea, right? Is although they're still currently representing Space Soldiers now in the league, they're not technically under contract anymore with Space Soldiers. You know, they're moving away from the organisation when they can. But it is just one of those where it's like, right, you now take this time to set a precedent of, look, here's who we are as a 5. This is what we can do. We need a new org, because then they can get a lot more behind them. And we have seen that in the past, where players that do leave an org that you know they've had enough with and are looking for a new home, they kind of get that remotivation back into them. They look to try and really perform because you need to try and paint a good picture of yourself. Yeah,
it's one of those things you try and show your value, isn't it? Just to make sure any potential employers, I suppose, make sure they see, like as you mentioned, see this is what we can do. So even last season they qualified for Pro League finals. Obviously, they didn't do quite as well as they probably would have liked to have done. Nevertheless, they got there, right? That's the main thing. Like the value of being able to get to the finals, or the potential advertisement example saying our team got to the finals, like top 5 or 14 teams in the world or whatever. But all in all, in this matchup though, head-to-head actually favours Space Soldiers dramatically, 6-1 in terms of actual wins to losses, which I wouldn't have thought that they'd played that much either, though, to begin with, because it's quite, Space Soldiers, they've only been in Pro League for what, 2 seasons, I think. North, on the other hand, they've had a roster at the top for the best part of like 3 years, and somehow they've matched up quite a few times. And this is actually a set of maps that they've never played against each other as well.
Ooh.
So it kind of adds a bit of a different angle to it. Because I mentioned they're not really maps that Space would normally play. Like they normally play their Cash, Inferno, Opa sometimes, not as much. And Mirage, Train, it's not their kind of maps in my mind. So to see this come out, it's kind of unusual. It's a bit of a weird one.
Yeah, something a little bit out of left field to potentially could provide for an interesting matchup potentially here. I mean, as terms of the maps go, for Mirage, it is a little bit more puggy. We can try and see that Space Soldiers style, where they do like to just go very heavy, run and gun, quite aggressive, just burst in, take no hostages. For North, it is going to be more interesting really to see what comes out there. Obviously, Cadian seems to be gelling very well with the roster already. He's been able to instill a lot of interesting things into them, and overall himself actually looked quite dominant.
Yeah, there was the actual round we saw on Overpass, wasn't there, a few weeks ago, the first
pretty much the 1v5.
Yeah, it was essentially, it was a 5k plus 1v3, and obviously one small play could have changed that entirely, but nevertheless, he was able to do it, which a lot of players wouldn't not be able to do it, right? But as you mentioned, instilling sort of confidence, allowing his team to realise he is the IGL right now. Like players like AZ as well. So under MSL, people were saying AZ was the next player to go. However, he's actually had quite a resurgence in terms of performances. You know, it's a bit of a different environment for him, I guess, right? It's a resurgence. He's able to just start thinking, it's a new in-game leader. I'll show my worth to him now, and try and cement his own spot, which apparently he has.
Yeah, which is actually good to see, because AZ definitely is a player with talent. You know, we've always had him sort of on a pedestal, expecting so much from him, and it felt like at times he would be able to perform, other times it would sort of fall a little bit flat on his face. If he can try and keep up this level of consistency that he has found, it could be, you know, a leaping stone from this point back into the top echelons of the Danish scene. Yeah,
because it was quite a weird one, because think about it, he was a part of that first, the King win into G2, you know, that super team sort of era. He was one of the original founding members of it, and then he was kind of, you know, kicked away and kind of thought, okay, I have to find my value again now in the Danish team. But the other player we haven't mentioned was Gade as well, who obviously he was at Optic the past few seasons. A bit of a loan deal. Did okay there, to be fair. It wasn't exactly,
pretty good,
yeah, he looks pretty solid. However, it's kind of hard to judge his value because the players around him were not performing to what they should have been doing. Now, obviously, Optic, they're in NDL, funnily enough, because they actually did move away from the North American region, come back to EU, and they're not actually doing that well. So even you got to be thinking, Gade, he was there, they were in Pro League and NA, they did okay. They moved to EU, they're struggling in NDL now. You've got to be thinking, is there a correlation there perhaps? Which, it's a bit much to say that one player makes you drop an entire tier, but yeah, it's something that could be considered.
Yeah, it is potential there that, you know, there could be some exterior reasons. Individually though, Gade, it feels like he has sort of shown what he can do. Now on this roster, overall it seems like North have actually got quite a lot of prestige now building for them, looking like a team that could definitely bolster some big results. For the meantime though, whilst we wait to get underway with our opening matchup, we'll head over to a short Betway video until we can get into the match between Space Soldiers and their opponents in North. We'll leave you for that for the meantime.
Stewie lucky to be standing, 16 HP for him. And he got the kill. That's like the most spins. Linear entry to the site, but Semphis' kill is crucial. Twists, he's got himself a second. Could actually just continue and tear through these T's. Envy down to a single man. The ace could be his. The taps are out. The frag is there. Beautiful hold from Twist. 3 of which now stagnate within the site. Coldzera with a highway robbery. A third. No way. Oh. Beautiful shots from Coldzera.
Oh god, does he even check the left corner here, or does he wrap CT? Oh my god.
That's just great. 2 players present themselves at the exact same time, so Sick from the corner with a multi-frag already. Not the 4th, no way. He just shuts it right down.
Some lovely highlight clips there from the weeks gone by, Ben.
Yeah, a lot of North American highlights there as well, actually, because I haven't been able to really see much of it because we've just been doing this show and then that starts instantly.
Yeah.
So it's quite nice to see some of the kills there. A lot of bashing and envy, I feel though, which that roster has been a bit of a question mark so far this season.
It was a bit of a weird pickup overall, I feel, for Envious to finally come back into it, pick up an NA team with the boys.
NA team with a mixture of players who you wouldn't put together normally.
No.
Like, a lot of players who you consider to be, well, I'll say role players, right? So in basketball, you consider some players who are not star players, but they're not bad enough to not be a starter, though. They'd be considered role players. So, like, players like Cutler, for example, Semphis, players you wouldn't normally put in a team that you want to do very, very well, but they'd be at least able to gel, but the roster just seems to be a bit mess at the moment from what I've seen.
Yeah, it feels like sort of the misfits, the 1 of a 5 that you'd put into a team to sort of round out the roster. But they've come together to build their own team. It's like the reverse phase.
Yeah, the reverse phase with the... Well, Nifty, I think, is the big pickup, isn't it? I guess that's the big one, obviously.
That's the core of the team right there.
Yeah, which I understand picking Nifty is probably a good move for most organizations, because in Renegades he did actually do quite well as an IGL and everything. But it's kind of interesting to put him beside players like Semphis, for example, who is an IGL himself. So Nifty spent all that time being an IGL.
Yeah.
And then gets put into that situation.
Bit of a weird mixed bag, but we are ready now for the game afoot. Space Soldiers versus North, as we will delve into the action here. And it seems like it will be a classic B take coming out from Space Soldiers, Ben.
Yeah, very simple. Looks like it's going to be a contact play. As soon as they get contact, there'll be a flash coming over from Major. Unless they just go for it straight away. So he's flashing over. Doesn't actually get Valda. And he actually will have a chance at just taking out these players. There's 3 on the site already for North. Surely this cannot go well for Space Soldiers.
Ooh, well, Kali-X does get a double kill. Paz as well. The aggression coming through is to be able to push out, kills Kirby, gets the headshot off on him, and it just falls to Cadian and AZ. Now, Cadian, his role is so pivotal into the round, but he's been detected, still gets a tag out, but he's just destroyed, Ben.
Absolutely overwhelmed in terms of contact there. Too many players to actually fight. Here's now a 1v2 for AZ, though. He's already got 1 kill into the round. Kali-X looking for his 4th, though. And Paz will secure that. So Kali-X and Paz teaming up for 5 kills between them. A pistol round which we probably think North should have done better, perhaps. They got the 2 opening kills, but from there they weren't able to recapitalise.
No, and it fell apart rather quickly. The entire defense just toppled. Kali-X just doing so much damage on the early entries that it left them in a quite horrible prediction. Now we do get back into the action though. So Space Soldiers, they reinvest. We're going to see the 3 SMGs coming out. You got the 1 UMP there on Kali-X. Double MAC-10 and the 2 AKs towards mid.
The mid-window smoke actually missing one of the Space Soldiers players there. Not a very good sign. Potentially giving some fear perhaps to the player that did miss it, because that means he isn't quite sure on the lineup. Which in some cases, some teams have a certain player do it every round, purely because of where their position will be on their default, for example. So if you have a player going to Palace every round, you would have him do it just because he won't need his smoke. However, if he's missing it, somebody else has to use their smoke, they might be in a position where they'll need it later on.
Yeah. Ooh, okay, so Kali-X has got an awful lot of map control here. They're already out on A site. They've got control of it. He can backstab. Major is awfully close here as well. He's just looking through the window. It just depends if Kali-X actually clears this. He is holding the angle, will fight the headshots, and Major can come through to help. Major actually gets the knock-on effect as well, as AZ will go down.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That felt like a deagle shot rather than a USP.
Sniping with a USP, Ben. They nearly don't clear it. Kali-X actually almost goes down there, left them 36 HP, but they only lose the 1 player. That was Zantares that was eliminated. Major will salvage his AK, and they pick that round up.
And North, after taking that 2nd round, will buy up here. So you can see a lot of rifles across the board. Utility is actually not that bad, but they have taken the risk of going no head armor on 3 of the players. With a MAC-10 in play, that could prove to be quite costly, depending on what engine actually does with it. Looks to be quite a slow default from Space Soldiers though. Just the regular top mid smoke. Potentially thinking about that smoke that did miss in the previous round. They don't want to risk it just in case there was an open window. However, little did they know North, or Cadian rather, did not have enough money to go for the AWP this time. It's a very slow default though. Double play in CT from North right there. It's an interesting setup, because it essentially guarantees you are playing retake, but they're doing it with no kit. So if the if the A site were to be attacked, it could prove to be bad news for them.
Zavada attempting to get a little bit of control here as well, as he's going to push up, go to a deeper position over in the apartments. They are getting the short control bets. This will be an aggressive play towards the B site, but is Valde ready for it? Spam comes through. It was a bit of a fumble there, because they were actually trying to get a grenade out on the drive-by. Already it's only left down to 2 men in Major and Kali-X, but Kali-X is bailing them out a little bit. Kills Gade, and it falls into a 2 versus 3, but the backstab from Major could be everything here.
Should be a free kill, although because the Molotov, AZ turns around, he knows he can't go through the window, he can't go through the door. He checks from behind. Major, unfortunately, he walks into it. Kali-X now a 1v3, needs to get that bomb there.
Flash peek. Nearly gave him the opportunity as well. Kali-X trying to pull back. And AZ will be able to aggress out, gets himself into a better position, has a line of sight, pulls the trigger, and that'll be the first round now picked up for North.
Yeah, very good decision from North. Getting to that about minute mark left on the board. Valde makes that push in towards B-Apps. He gets a kill, which he probably shouldn't have, I suppose. There was, I can't remember which play it was, but they ran in with a grenade out.
I think it was Antares.
Yeah.
Grenade out on the push.
Yeah, no need to do that, I suppose, in the situation, but they should have known there might have been some kind of aggression, considering it was Molotovs quite deeply. Because of that, Space Soldiers, you can see just pistols available to them.
Oh. Valde actually going to find that first frag as well. Kali-X was trying to peer out. does go down for it. So they've already lost one man. Yeah, but we've played towards mid as well. But going for the information peak, spots up the arm. That's an easy double kill. Cadian's been traded back upon, but this round has gone very far south already. It's looking like it should be over. Xantares just hoping to make a bit of a mockery out of them, potentially wreak some havoc over on the A side. Does slide out, aggress against the first man, but Kirby will trade it, and it's tied up 2-2 already.
Yeah, very nice pick from Kirby. Heard the gun get picked up, and you know, Xantares will try and get that out as soon as he can. Catches them off guard. So ultimately, Space Soldiers there. They get 2 kills for a round where they invested around, what, $3,000 maybe? $4,000? Not much across the entire 5-player set. And they will buy straight back into it now. Cadian picking up the AWP on the CT side. Space Soldiers though, it seems to be a very slow default set from them. Normally a team that are quite aggressive, I feel, with most of their buy rounds. They try and catch the opponent off guard regularly. And Easy doing that one-way smoke. Does clear out the close upper angles, but little does he know there were 2 players further back as well. This might be a...
It looks like this could be a bit of a pause, right? Everyone's just having a walk around with knives. Yeah, surely it seems like this round has been a pause. Maybe Xantares is suffering with some internet issues once again.
Perhaps.
Seems like it will be the technical pause for Space Soldiers. That could be the reason being foreshadowed there. Obviously, not too many rounds actually played out so far, so there isn't that much to actually break down.
Yeah, just a 2-2 scoreline. Makes you wonder though if he's having the issue. Obviously, we were delayed in the start of the game.
Yes.
So with him having issues now, 4 rounds in, potentially showing that that situation has not really been fixed. But
no, and that'll be quite frustrating as well because obviously this is the opening game. There is 2 maps at minimum they have to play today. So it could be a little bit of a troublesome issue if it does carry on. Versus Xantares as well, not a player you want to be uncomfortable, really.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the key players in this lineup. And we mentioned early on, like, he needs to have one of those games where he does pop off.
Yes.
I believe the matchmaker is coming through though, that reset of the round.
Nice little bit of Tetris being displayed there from Jake.
Yeah, nice bit of snakes and ladders.
Okay, well it seems like the pause has been removed now. We're going to be getting back into the action.
So it was originally quite a slow round from Space Soldiers. However, now it seems to be a bit more of a change-up there. AZ originally did use that one-way smoke, which is what I think he'll be doing again. However, Space Soldiers not giving him a chance to get the kill though. And he keeps checking it. I don't think AZ can see when your shoulder spotting just that tiny bit. You can only see when you're fully out. So ultimately, AZ used an entire set of grenades there. There's 1 damage and not a lot of information.
Yeah, he actually comes out worse for wear with 97 HP.
Yeah, somehow damages himself in that regard. So Space Soldiers see they're trying to think about what to do. There was originally a bit of a play towards that A side of the map, but that window smoke is missed again. Gade, I mean, he's in a good position to capitalise on that if they were to try and go towards Connector, but Space Soldiers, that'd be quite frustrating if this smoke keeps missing. It could be a very big detrimental factor later on into this game.
Oh, okay. Nice movement. Could have boosted himself over and reposition back around. Hides for the meantime as this push comes out. So Paz gets a little bit of control towards Connector, as he will be quite cheeky.
Oh, he's right next to him.
Make his move, Kirby.
Kirby, he's next to him.
Oh, it's such a good angle, Ben. He gets the double kill. The first headshot on Kali X, the adjustment down towards Paz. This whole round's fallen apart. Engine just looked lost on that face. Xantares trying to fumble with his grenades to give himself some kind of advantage on the way out. Valde will slap down Major. And Xantares, not even the confidence to try and just bound out. It's not worth it. There's 16 seconds. You might as well just hold on to the AK armor.
Yeah, hoping to stay alive. However, the further he goes this way, Caden is waiting for this exit.
Cadian should be able to pull this trigger as well and eliminate him, Ben. If he pushes round, 1 simple shot from the AWP is all it will take. But the marksman in Cadian just holds his angle. No reason for either player to overly aggress here.
Yeah, so that setup. The A-split was into effect, however, imagine the simple decision to just check behind the box could have changed everything. You know, both players, there was a player under, a player on top of the balcony. If they were to get sandwiched from both Connector, ramp, and, you know, the actual palace, it could have gone quite well. However, Kirby, the silent ninja in connector, gets 2 kills for free.
And that's a perfect display of why that angle is so useful as well, because it is very much one-sided. You can stay quite hidden in there. Unless you fully clear it, you're not going to notice him on a normal walkthrough.
Kirby being a bit bold there, I feel.
Maybe some confidence off the back of that prior round.
He does have the ability to back up that kind of confidence, though, is the crazy thing. Despite having quite an unorthodox way of spraying as well, everybody's always actually challenged his way of actually shooting, because he has quite a, I wouldn't say like an uncontrollable way of doing it, but he seems very in control considering how crazy it looks on the screen, right? It's very shaky. But he does get the job done.
Will he get the job done here, though? Xantares suspects the angle, finds the headshot and the easy adjustment. There is a trade back from Cadian. They eliminate the IGL. Xantares looks to try and take the firefight. Cadian is just killing everyone, Ben. They're being fed to the slaughter of the IGL right now, as he will punish the lot of them. Keeps going, looking for a little bit more, wants to add to his tally, but AZ will do the damage for him. And Engin might just get shot in the back here as well. Cadian, he can push out, finds the headshot. That's a 4K for him. He has just destroyed everyone at connector.
Yeah, very easy round really for him. He just didn't have to move off short. He just held the same position, kept on just peeking.
The sniper turret, sure.
Yeah, the in-game leader turret. Firing out calls left, right and centre.
Bringing out the claw.
The clan leader AWP.
Back.
Space Soldier's back in with another buy. Xantares, a weak one due to that save, means he doesn't actually get that much money in towards this round. But you can tell the difference in not having that window smoke land. It's kind of changing the way Space Soldiers have to use their grenades here. Like, they're using one towards top mid just to get somebody behind boxes who can then smoke the window. And Kirby, he's been playing a lot towards connector. I'm surprised he goes to that same position again, considering he died last round from it.
It's a gamble. Normally you want to try and switch it up a bit. Walk straight through the flashbang as well. That's lovely teamwork. Yeah,
very well done with the actual flash. Yeah, that flash has to be perfect as well. Obviously the smoke gives you that extra bit of shroud just to make sure it gets in. But Xantares, look how bold this is. There's a player at jungle who did see him. And he will actually get taken down. His teammate's too far behind.
So again, North, they've got 2 picks into the round. Last time we saw Space Soldiers try and go for an ace that execute when they'd already lost the first 2 players, it was quite abysmal. They were just getting picked off. They couldn't really land their shots. And once again, it seems like they're not too favoured. Engin charges out. Feels like he saw the player in jungle there. Does eventually get the kill, but Gade has just been sitting and connected the entire time, and they're going to win the round. Gade will also save that AWP.
Been some very clean rounds from North here. You can see that money is slowly building across the board. Space Soldiers, though, it feels like they've already run into a bit of a wall. They seem to be very A-centric. They keep going to that same bomb site, having issues in connector. And after that, they try and rely on someone to get a pick, and it's all well and good to think that Xantares, for example, is a fantastic player, but he's not going to always get this pick. He's playing against players who are similar caliber. Yeah, very indecisive. You can tell by the way Space Soldiers is moving around. It's just there's no clear call being made, is there?
It is weird. They do look a little bit lost today.
Yeah. Normally Major, man who does quite a lot of prep for some of these games. You think he'd come into it with a game plan?
Well, that's the thing as well. For Major, he's someone that looks into a lot of the intricacies of not even just the teams he's playing against. Is that actually Xantares towards top mid there? Because he looked quite laggy. No, it's not. It's Major.
It's Major. The model
yeah, I was confused. I was like, maybe that's the issue. But yeah, I mean, he's normally quite vocal on Twitter as well, with how much he looks into the game. Obviously, somewhat similar to you, if he was looking into every team's individual nade utility damage. So, you know, you'd have thought he would have been the man, if anyone, to have come in very well educated for this matchup.
Yeah, however, they actually go for the Tyloo. Well, actually, I used to call it something different. But Engin, he gets 2 kills, but ultimately the bomb's already lost at B. But they are making it winnable though. 2v2. There's no armor is the main issue, I feel. So Kalex, he gets this AWP, but if he misses the first shot, the aim punch will basically guarantee he will not land the following one. 20 seconds left though. They need to be quite quick with this.
Yeah, it has to be rapid now. Kalex going in towards the B site. He has the AWP out, clearing the angles, but Doesn't really work out what they are. The fast flick, but it won't actually be a frag. And it's up to Major to make a mockery out of them. Gonna delve in, drops down, Fuds on the site, gets one, has to get the kill, but they run away. Ben, oh, he can't plant. It's just after time. Gade realizes, repeaks it, and gets the kill.
Yeah, very good movement from Gade. Good decision making.
Yeah.
Primarily there. The Space Wars, they did, I can't remember what we actually used to call it, but it was similar to the Tyloo smokes, but you make a wall across from triple to jungle, as well as a stair smoke and a CT smoke. You mortar behind those smokes. However, with that smokes being used, you only had 2 players going out, no Molotovs either. It was a very weak attempt at a fake, and before they even got contact, they died at B. So you spent all that utility building up this round, you get nothing from it. Santaras, though, gets the kill, and he gets away as well. Kirby, he could have hidden in past then. He could have played the long con. However, they faked the A smokes and Validate, an experienced man. He takes the complete map control into his B apps there.
It's a man of culture, Ben.
Ah, I see.
And he will be waiting for that push to come towards him, hungry for his meal day. Because he would like to bite down on a couple of the Space Soldiers players here. But they are playing it fairly slowly. They have the manpower advantage. You've got the first frag, still tons of time. There's a minute left on the clock. No need to overcommit or go overly aggressive here. And AZ still played his position towards Palace this entire time, just holding. He's actually fallen back there, just playing, waiting for the push in the balcony. Mid-control going to be the key point here, though, it seems.
Yeah, leaving it quite late, though. 45 seconds. Kirby as well, still getting some info. He does some damage, but that's the call, though, that mid is taken completely. If Valde gets both kills in B-apps, this round might be over.
Here we go, Valde. It's up to him to try and secure victory. Gets 1 kill on Paz that was clearing the angles. There is the re-aggression, but Engin can do nothing. That's bomb control. That's basically round.
Yeah, they have to get back into the apartments. Valde, he's got a nice angle with this as well. They have to go all the way past him. Got about 10 seconds to do so, really. And he's delaying them even more by just holding behind the smoke. 10 seconds. They need to get the bomb and plant it. And Valde even gets the kill.
Major might trade it back, even if he finds the follow-up frag, though. Nothing you can do. Save the AWP, just get out of there. You're not going to win it. Goes for a cheeky shot just in case. I mean, you know, fair play if it would have landed.
Yeah. You may as well try it. That's the only way you do win the round, I suppose, unless Valde faces the window. But as I said, if Valde gets those 2 kills in B-apps, the round was over. And neither of them even ready for a trade, though. You can see the separation. I think it was Engin. He was way far back, flashing into B. They were not concerned whatsoever about a player being in B-apps. And they've already had that against them once this game. Not learning from their own errors by the looks of things.
Well, that's the thing. We've seen that push from Valde and AZ pretty much at that point. As soon as they suspect there is going to be a play in towards the B site, push up, play on the close angle, just sit there and hold it.
And Major, though, he saved that AWP into this round. They do buy back. However, Major's looking for a pick towards that jungle sort of stairs area. Nothing been given to him at all, though, so far. And you can see Zantara is actually making his way up ramp as well.
So the AWP is a bit of a mixed bag on Space Soldiers with who is actually going to be the wielder of the weapon. It can really be passed around like a parcel. At this point, it is going to be picked up by Major. He looks to see if he can get the initial pick onto the A site. So Kaliex opens it up by Connector. Major still just holding, waiting to see if there is going to be a push coming out. They're whittling down the numbers, man. Major finally gets an opportunity, and that's a double kill.
And he gets a third as well. That's a solid round. He held for so long towards that angle.
There waiting.
But finally takes the peak and does it at the correct time, I think it's fair to say. A round from nothing, really. They get the picks needed. However, if you think about the last 10 rounds, obviously you got the pistol the second round, and then from that, that's the only round they've won in the past 8.
Yeah.
And that was due to just getting the picks they needed. Before that, they've not been getting the picks required.
And it's one of those as well, especially where you can't really repeat it. I mean, Major, how many times are you going to get a free K with the AWP towards the A site?
Yeah, exactly. It's one worrying sign for Space Soldiers in this one. Santaras does see that jump spot come into effect. And it is easy there. He's only got a deagle though. Just how expensive some of these rounds have been from North. You can see the effect on some of the purchases. So he's so confident regarding taking this fight. He's ready if somebody goes swing, he'll take that fight as well. But it shows they're kind of letting him off his leash a bit there. Like, willing to let him, you think you can get a kill here? Go for it.
Cool. Kara's pushing out. A couple of tags coming through there with the AK at the very least. 2AZ is brought down slightly lower. But Valde just timed it perfectly. He gets the initial kill. Paz doesn't really fancy just bounding in there and going for it either. So once again, they're going to go for the late round take on the B site. The difference is this time that Valde hasn't pushed up. He isn't straight in their faces holding it. So they actually are able to push him. But look how paranoid they are now, Ben.
Having to check every single angle. That smoke only just came down about 10 seconds ago now as well, so it'll be faded by 25 seconds left. However, they've got 2 B players to face. They do have some flashes available to them, but you got to be thinking Cadian will cover quite well for Kirby as soon as he hears some of them moving up. There comes the flash, and Cadian's ready to cover as well. Oh, misses the shot.
That's an awkward miss, and there's a trade. Luckily, Cadian does land the follow-up shot and punish at least another
There's only
man.
10 seconds left.
But they need to go now. They've left these rounds so late each and every time. Or he has to commit to that
on
plant.
site in time as well.
At least they'll actually be able to get it down, but they've already lost Paz, and the backstab is there. Gay deals with them. That round could have been over as well. I mean, there's the potential, you know, there's the universe there where Gade peeks out, kills the bomb planter. You have no time. The round's over no matter what. It's so, very uncharacteristic. It just doesn't look like Space Soldiers, normally to how they actually play these maps.
Yeah, it seems to be in a bit of a weird spiral in terms of decision-making. By those things. Even like the start of the round, they don't seem set on what they want to do. They seem to be going for a lot of splitting picks. No strats run off the, the start of the round. Now North go for a technical pause. So issue on their side of things. Seem very in control of this game though. Like they're not having to do anything special is the thing.
No.
Like they're playing a rather standard way of playing CT. And Space Soldiers keep walking into some of the moves they make. So it's not even like Space Soldiers, I'm not going to say not trying to get into position, but they're just doing things so simply that they're putting themselves in situations where they're not going to win. Simply put.
Thing is, we're seeing that sort of style of calling coming out from Cadian that's actually working quite nicely, is more heavy on the stacks as well. You know, we've seen that bolster defense towards the A site. A lot of change of positions there from the majority of players from North. They've never really been playing the same angle twice as well. And that's been keeping Space Soldiers on their toes, even at times where they're not expecting it, with AZ playing towards apartments, now where they, they fully have to commit to clear every angle. Slows them down a lot more than it does previously. But it also seems to have stripped them of their confidence. Towards the A site, they'll get one entry, but because they know how many times they've just been mowed down, they don't want to go for it. They're not overly aggressing. It is quite odd, and definitely a slower game coming out from the Space Soldiers side.
So Paz now doing the window smoke, I believe. Oh no, it's just the regular mid smoke, so potentially the player who has been missing it. Does mean that they have to get out towards the top of mid first, and then smoke the window. So they haven't used 2 smokes for this.
How is this an issue though? How
everyone should know
that smoke.
But it's one of those situations where apparently if that player doesn't know how to do it, then you have to switch him around somewhere else as well. If you have a default that you normally do, it throws a curveball into the way your system normally works.
That's the crazy bit though. Is it, you
should be flexible enough.
All 5 of these players should know how to do the smoke from T-spawn.
The crazy bit is Major's one of the advocates for everybody in the team should know how to do each job.
Yeah.
Gade will be testing the ladder in though. Doesn't expect a player in there, despite the noise from a flashbang. You'll be thinking if flash goes into the ladder, a player probably will be pushing it. And they were kind of letting KX just go for a pick there. They just flashed them into different angles, see if you can get anything done.
Yeah.
And this A-side split really awkwardly here.
Cadian, however, with the AWP.
Team flash.
He's been able to find a double kill. Major will get 1 pick at least back, but Paz has gone towards the A site. It's so isolated. It's just 1vX's where they're walking into a situation, no real trade potential. There's been a couple of instances where they're actually flashing each other in, but for the majority of it, it just seems quite broken down. They're not really working together.
Seems to be very much like a... What was that?
That wouldn't have flashed over.
I think it was meant to hit the wall, then bounce in the view of the AWP,
so it would have
if there was one AWP there.
But it didn't bounce far enough that it would have actually...
hit the curved wall. So it seems so dysfunctional. I don't know, it seems like it's as if we're watching a mix.
Certainly doesn't look like a team. I mean, they're not, a couple of instances where they flash them in, that is about it. When it comes down to actually like trading efficiently or being in angles where you can support each other, being able to help each other out, that's not there. This has to be a pause, yeah. It is going to be Space Soldiers actually taking time out to talk about what's going wrong here. What's going on with the utility usage as well?
I'm not really sure. That part, it just looked so ridiculous from our point of view. Just he lines up a flash against the wall, we're thinking, what's that actually going to do, though? But just shows there seems to be a bit of a mess on their side of things. Like, I can understand the tech pause starting it off, or you know, the delay of the map, then the tech pause. That would frustrate you, but that shouldn't change your game plan, though. Like, you should have a game plan set anyway.
Yeah, it wouldn't alter the style of CS they're going to be bringing to the table, right? And that's the crazy thing about Space Soldiers is normally it is these kind of games they win as well. You know, this is where they perform very well. They come in all guns blazing. They have that level of prep behind them that gives them the extra edge. Maybe they can try and reinvigorate themselves. We're back in off the back of the pause, Ben. Is this going to be something different?
So this is actually the Space Soldiers A strat, 2-3 Palace, 2-3 A main. They rely on the rifles to get the kills out of Palace, and that they do. AZ gets taken down. North, as you mentioned, Cadian loves the gamble of actually putting more players towards one site. And this is one of the rounds where they gambled incorrectly. It's a 4v5 retake.
Okay, Flashbang's coming over. Very aggressive here towards CT. They're trying to get some extra frags on the board here to at least whittle down the CT side numbers. The trades don't really go in their favor, though. It's left it back in a 3 versus 3s. The retake is possible now for the CT side, and it's actually getting better as time goes on. Luckily, KaliX is there. Will defeat the man towards stairs, but the Flickaroonie as well. Nearly gets himself the hat trick, but it falls in the 1-on-1. It's the battle of the IGLs. Cadian smokes the bomb, knows he has to defuse this. Major going in to slice him off, but he can't find him, Ben!
If he was just left-clicking, he would have killed him.
Oh.
He went for the right straight away. If he just keeps lefting, you'll get, I think, about 4 slices off at least. A backstab slice was about 70 damage. That's an awkward round to lose, though. It was a 4v5 retake.
Oh. And the difference is, that's the first round we've actually seen Space Soldiers play like Space Soldiers. Just a confident push out, go for the balance towards the site. What's even going on here?
I know. Zantares has bought AK armor. Everybody else has not bought.
That looks like Till.
Yeah, that does look like a game round, but it must be one of those where, if he were to have died first, for example, in that round, he'll have witnessed all of it from the 6th man sort of perspective. Yeah. Everybody just dying to reasons, you know, they shouldn't be dying. And it does get frustrating. You know, it's a 5v2 already this round. It's not a good thing to be seeing, though, if you consider this is a 2-map series. Like, this is map 1.
If you're being hurt this much into the first matchup, it's going to leave you broken going into game 2. And the thing is as well, it's not a best of 2. They're 2 best of 1s. They're 2
games.
entirely separate matchups.
It's not a good sign at all, though. Especially considering the positions like on the leaderboard we mentioned just before we actually started the game. Space Soldiers are in a decent spot to actually catch up to FaZe.
But the bigger picture is the fact that they're in do or die territory. So it's the fact right now you're not in the top 7. You know, you're 8th place, but you're on the borderline. You can try and get in there, but you have to be at the minimum getting 3 points from every series, trying to walk away with, you know, if you can 4, take a game in overtime, at least get some kind of majority there to bolster you up and push you up the rankings. If this is the way the game's going, it's not starting well.
If I remember correctly, they're 11 points behind FaZe with 8 games in hand, right? So if you, as you said, if you get 3 points from every matchup, you will then put yourself a point above FaZe on the same amount of maps played. Yeah. That's in a perfect position, right? That forces FaZe to actually try and play their best. And FaZe, they're constantly travelling, trying to actually force situations, for example. They've gone to Copenhagen today, I believe, to play the Blast. Yeah. But they're playing EPL games as well. So they're not in a good position to be playing their games right now. They're constantly on the go, travelling. They're in a position where they might falter. But Space Soldiers, they're doing it before even the games have started.
They've been frustrated with that as well. You know, there was a tweet from
Nico was annoyed about it, wasn't he?
Where he was saying that 24-hour space, you know, we've had no downtime. We're travelling to an event to play the same teams we've just played online and then play more games. Oh, okay. Major with a flick. We'll get the headshot on Kirby. Cadian trades it back with the AWP at the very least, Ben. But look, it's still an advantage for North. Finally, Engen will be able to peel it back as he eliminates AZ. Cadian also falters, and it's down to Valde and Gade. Gade going to rotate back around, tries to get the CT side control. Valde coming from the opposite end of the spectrum as he will backstab over from T-Spawn. Okay, gives himself away though, fires off the warning shot, tries to connect onto one of the players. Bear in mind the bomb is not down just yet. It is only just being planted, but no one expects this. From out of nowhere, Valde hits him with one, but Paz flicks it back.
You got to be thinking that's a 2K for Valde every day of the week. Yeah. Paz saves the day there, but Gade, he still has some good utility for this 2v1 though. Molotov, ooh. They went a bit too far, but Paz peeks it anyway.
Yeah, Paz just confident on the face.
It's a good round to win right at the end of the half, but it's still not feeling like they're in a good position at all.
It did look a bit weird. I mean, we saw a few glimpses of Space Soldiers going for a confident play towards the A site, trading efficiently, Zantares just being the headshot machine we expect to see. but there was glimpses of that. No real consistency. We didn't see what we expected at all, and bar that, it just felt like the team kind of was a bit lifeless.
Yeah, there's a lot of situations where it just didn't feel like there was much trust in either A, the core, or B, just in each other.
Yeah.
Right? And that's, no matter what, as a team, you should be trusting your teammates. Because if you don't trust your teammates, you're not going to get trades, you're not going to get flashed in, you won't trust the flash if it goes in. You're wasting possibilities there. And basically, they just like shadow themselves though. It's worrying. It really is.
Would be a shame as well. They're definitely a fan favourite. You know, a team that I feel like people would want to see at the live finals because they do normally put on an amazing show. They're one of these teams that can step up. They provide a lot of interesting moments, I feel like. Yeah,
they're always one of the teams you might consider an upset coming in.
They're a dark horse through.
That's without a doubt as well, because even if they show up as like the 7th seed from Europe, you still be thinking on their day that they could be capable of beating quite a decent team there.
Yeah.
But nonetheless though, they're not in position to actually make the finals right now.
Especially not if it carries on like this. Well, we learnt a lesson yesterday that Counter-Strike is very much a game of two halves, Ben. Well, we're going to be seeing that today as they flip around. Space Soldiers on their CT side, and they start to get some momentum. It's going to be the 5 armor buy for the Space Soldiers.
Yeah, no kit available for them there. Caden does most of the window, and it does allow them to actually move out mid there. The flash screen's connector, 3 players going to be pushing fast into it. Zantares tries to get a peek off, but Major deals with one of the players. So this A split has worked out very well for them thus far. AZ, the man in the actual palace, still has a flashbang available to him. Looks like he's trying to use that now. Only towards CT though. So Gade is the key man here, I think. He'll cause a lot of disruption on this region if he stays live, but unfortunately does not. The lack of a kit will come into play this round, I feel. But 20 seconds left.
Shot the bomb. AZ went to go for the peak, but has already been decapitated by Paz. And he's just going to go for the full-on defuse. Cadian eventually extends out, but Paz, the 4K, absolutely ruthless, Ben. Savagery coming through.
A very strong round from him. He bails them out, I feel. The kill into Gade, for example, I mentioned he probably is a big factor into the round.
Yeah.
He takes him down pretty much instantly. And from there, you know, they trusted each other there. The player defusing, he trusted his teammates. They need to cover me, otherwise this round is lost. And they did so, and I mean, it's a better start at least. But you got to be thinking they have to, you know, string some rounds together, because they did win the first pistol. They got the second one after that, but from there they looked pretty woeful. So AZ using a single smoke and a flash, trying to make them think it's a palace burst of some kind, but they're actually just going to rush straight up short towards B. They've pulled a player off as well, so it's just going to be KaliX here.
Oh, they actually get up short, they lose 1 man. KaliX, that's a whiff and a half, Ben, as he'll go down. It just doesn't look like him. But luckily they've got the powerhouse in Paz. Paz has been having a good game, can he keep that going? Bomb goes down, so it's extra cash at the very least for North. Gabe with the aggression here, blocks off short, but he has too many angles to focus on. Paranoid, because he's the one with the better weapon. Needs to get the spam down, but won't slay today. However, AZ wants to go crazy. He's in the back line, gets a cheeky headshot off, looks for more, but there'll be no vintage AZ on display. That'll be a victory for Space Soldiers. However, 2 players lost, and a lot of damage done to Major as well. Brought down to 6 HP. Nearly another win for North, and at least they got that bomb plant, Ben.
Yeah, Space Soldiers actually invested full rifles that round as well. So they had 3 FAMASs, I believe, and then 2 M4s. So you think about the value lost there, it's minimum about 3250 on the players that did die. And North, they get even more money in the bank. Another plant. With the new economy system, you can see players like Caden, for example. He's got an AWP, full grenades, and head armor. He's missing nothing this round.
Yeah, they're literally fully invested back into it. And that's why those bomb plants are so pivotal now. You get 2 rounds of a bomb plant in each, you're kitted, you're set.
I really liked that strategy from North. It's a very simple thing, because as soon as you see a smoke coming towards jungle in the second round, you've got to be thinking, it's probably a palace burst, they want to get this round over with. But instead, they just went straight towards B, and KaliX probably should have done better, really. He had a pretty horrific miss.
It felt like, he kind of felt like, you know, they were just going to go for the absolute rush in. I'll just spray, I'll probably get the kills. Instead, if he would have just tapped, just gone for more of a composed play into the round, probably would have killed a lot more of them. However, just expecting the all-out brute force, he got a bit overconfident. Mid-control coming out, though, for North. Not really contested just yet. There is a face, but nothing really comes out of it.
Yeah, the flashover did force Caden's shot. Very similar timing though to Major actually going for the peak. You can see, kind of telegraph what play they will be going for. Down to the last 45 seconds there. So they are leaving it quite late. Zantara is still willing to play inside the connector there, but looks like it's going to be a B short. Primarily pushing through short though, Paz needs to go huge.
Oh, Paz getting one, looks for more, able to spray down this time, showing what Kali X needed to get up to last time, as he will be able to just absolutely explode all over them. However, they have secured the B site. They'll be able to lock this down. Utility going to be dashed out to at least restrict the entry from the Space Soldier side. It's a 2-on-2. There's a backstab coming in from Engin. They have one kit, and it is on Engin. Major, however, just waits outside the shop. He has no utility to help him. Cadian with the AWP focuses on the angle, ready for the push to come towards him, but does he realise where Engin is? Spots him on the jump. Did he not spot him?
Yeah, he did. He was trying to wonder if short was being pushed. But Market did shoot at him. Engin, he's getting tagged on the way in. He doesn't have a clue where the players are.
Oh, Cadian still focusing towards short on the reposition. Engin gets the kill. It's just down to Valde. The spray comes through, but he's so low. However, there is no ammo on Major. He has to just charge in, and Valde wins the round.
That wall was surprisingly thick there. I think Valde's taken 2-in-2 damage at one point, man.
It's like a bowl of oatmeal.
It was just surprising. I remember they changed that wall, but I don't think they changed the damage through it. But it feels like they did. I swear you do a lot more damage with them fall through it.
It is crazy. I mean, they tagged him so many times. It's rough as well. Physically runs out of ammo. Had to just push in. Such an awkward position to be in for Major.
And this is a nice call, I think. It's going to be a B execute off the bat, or potentially a B rush. Straight in. They're trying to capitalise on the rounds, knowing the economy might be weak from Space Soldiers. The MP5... Seems very messy though. A lot of damage being dealt through these smokes.
Yeah, I mean they're landing shots. It's hard to hit the back. Valde apparently is a heat seeker though, as he will be able to shoot everyone through the smokes. Does not give a single damn. Gade as well, getting aggressive. Easy free K from him as the spray will come out from that Kalashnikov, and that is the 13th round now picked up. 3 rounds away from the first map win here versus Space Soldiers. North are going to be quite happy with themselves.
13-6. They put themselves in a very good position here. Space Soldiers, I feel like this is the round that is do or die.
Yeah.
Because from then onwards, you got to be thinking they'd have to mount a ridiculously strong comeback if they do lose this one. However, it looks like the call from North will be to actually go for some of the A smokes with a late lurker through underpass and top mid. But Paz, he got 3 kills last round. And it's, well, the round before rather, it still wasn't enough for his team. Like I said, he had to go huge. He did do phenomenally well in short. But alas, not enough. The A-take will be coming through. Valde, this big lurk. Will he check for Paz on short, or will he go for the connect kills? Doesn't check for it. That's a good kill to start off with.
Engin waits behind the box, peek out, gets 1 kill. Holds on for the aggression to come out as he will just sit in position by triple, but Major and Zantara is looking to try and get themselves in for a triple as he will go overly aggressive, just binds in, finds 1 frag. There's a couple of quick trades. It's not looking too amazing for North as it just comes down to AZ with the MP5. Goes for the style points towards the end of the round, but Engin will trade it back.
Yeah, it feels like that A push there. Valde either A goes a bit too fast, or B, the push was delayed and they didn't quite communicate it very well to him, because it looks like there was more time in front of them on the ramp, so they couldn't quite push up as fast as they wanted to. But Valde, he makes the error of going a bit too early, gives that opportunity for Paz. Like, he doesn't even wait for the rotate. He tries to catch the connector players rather than getting the players on the way and then crunching. So it does happen quite often with players. They don't quite know what's happening on the other side of the map. It's quite hard to do it when you're out online compared to at an event. You could just look at your friend's screen, couldn't you?
Yeah, you've got the vision there to actually look over and be like, oh,
that's what's happening there.
Yeah. So it's the first calls we're actually going to see as well from North.
Yeah, the money wasn't great. That's the main reason, I think. They're trying to think if we might be able to buy into this and still get something done. Like, think about the round where they just had, what, the flash and smoke on AZ, and then just a P250 on some of the players. But they've gone for 4 AKs with armor. They've made a Christmas G with no actual, you know, wooden part to it.
No, yeah,
it's
you've got the base
tree
and the top.
3 smokes can be used. Essentially the regular A smokes, powered by the rifles. They need to get the kills here. That's a good nade though. Oh. Doesn't do as much as I thought.
No, it seemed like it was going to land in perfect proximity to do an awful lot of damage, but just a small sliver knocked the top of everyone. Kurt being very confident, and you know what? It works.
Yeah, he trusted in that flashbang, didn't he? He's had a lot of faith in it. He took a lot of digs through the smoke before actually getting through. 4v5 retake though. Space Soldiers, they got a decent amount of grenades for this. 3 kits as well, it's not a bad position.
Nice molly, that's going to cause Valde to have to move. He took so much damage from it, and then the aggression comes out. Zantares and Major popping off into the round, but look at the backstab, Ben. This is everything from Cadian. Gets one. They're now so paranoid about his position. Gade toward the side. That was the last remaining member. It's a 1 versus 2. As long as he sprays, he should find a frag. There's no time though, surely. He's going to jump on. He's got the kit. He should get in the last second. Oh.
Cadian does just enough, I think. He could have got even more of them, to be fair, but it looks like he went straight for the spray. The fact he got the 1 kill that caused that complete disarray, right? The CT split into that site was 2 through CT, 2 through connector. But one of them being taken from one side of it causes them to be in complete havoc, right? They don't really know what's happening. They start thinking we're being shot from too many angles here, we try and get on the site. Gade probably should have got the kill at the end there, but fortunately for him, there's not enough time left.
Yeah, distracted for long enough, so they could actually win that one. Off the back of the pause from North, it's instantly a pause from Space Soldiers. This one makes a ton of sense as well. You're quite far behind. You're realizing now you need to try and switch things up, and you've got to work out what you actually want to do, Ben, because there's 2 rounds away from them losing this game.
Yeah, and it kind of just shows the effect that having a poor first half can do to you in a best of 1 like this. Because at 11-4 half, in some of those rounds, they did just look hopeless as well. But they do go for the buy. They recognise it's not really worth trying to play for that overtime. We should try and get in as soon as we can. We're going to be doing... Major misses the smoke. Okay, it was going to be the deep mid-smoke. We've seen Windigo do that strat quite often. However, the smoke has come straight back at him, so that's the smoke completely gone off the board from Space Soldiers.
It's weird. I don't know why, there's such a disconnect for them today with utility usage. I mean, luckily, they've got the big man doing damage, as they'll be able to gobble down a couple of players. Zantares gets the first 2 and then gets removed. AZ will trade it back, and Paz is put to bed. They've got the site control, Ben, but it's still a 3-on-3.
Yeah, 3-on-3. A player low on each side as well. However, there's no kit this time, Space Soldiers. This is going to be a faster retake. They do have some grenades available to them as well, Major. Offensive grenades available. We'll start to throw them out, but AZ just stuck on the ladder there.
Ooh, Cadian with the face.
They're all so low. Everybody's low.
Gay could win this round, potentially. It'd have to be absolutely glorious, but if he's got the marksmanship skills to pay the bills, let's find out. Peeks out, gets 1, looks for the re-aggression, there's the second. Oh, the timing!
There's no time, is there? There's no kit.
He doesn't have a kit.
Surely that must not be enough time. They must have heard the music.
You can't get it. It's over.
Yeah, surely he'll die for that as well. Was nobody telling him he's got no time? I feel like that was a good 2-3 seconds
There was
off.
such a discrepancy. I mean, the last one you can kind of understand,
yeah,
right?
that was quite close.
Oh, it's close. This one, there's such a discrepancy between winning and losing the round.
There's music that plays when there's 10 seconds left. Like, you have to be on it before that music starts, otherwise you have lost the round. Another round where it goes down to the wire, I suppose. Last, what, 2 seconds difference there.
Yeah. Again, won by a low HP clutch from a player as well.
Crazy stuff. And North trying to take advantage of that, going towards B with 2 players, having 3 go through mid. They're hoping to catch the rotates off, and unfortunately they don't see the player go underpass. The B rotate, or the B push rather, has caused some rotates, but they haven't been able to catch them. That is one of them, however. Zantares being a bit too giddy for it. Engin. He did see the gun, but he just... they didn't even look!
They didn't even clear it, Ben. Game of chicken between both players on who was actually going to find out the first member. They do go down. Cadian looks for the over-aggression as well as he peers in, bites off way more than he can chew. But Valde wants to have a go and somehow wins it. It's a hat-trick from Valde, who is a hungry, hungry boy.
They just lined up for him.
I know,
he was spraying the first play and some guy coming through the vent just dies in collateral.
Game's over.
I guess I don't get a chance. Fair enough, yeah.
And you can see as well the knock-on effect, right, of because they lost that round, and he didn't get the save on the M4. He loses 2 flashes, armor, and an M4 because he tried to go for the defuse. There was no M4s in play. You had a FAMAS, a Scout. It really was just a mixed bag. The difference they could have had if he at least would have saved those weapons, it's a little bit more firepower.
It's not even like a situation where, like as you mentioned, the one with the kit, you can't tell. Like the 10 seconds music, you can't tell exactly when you would have got it.
Yeah.
Whereas 10 seconds, it's straight up there's either music or there isn't when you've got on it. You should know. Everybody else on the team can tell you as well. It's not as if it's a one-man decision thing. But ultimately, you got to be thinking Space Soldiers, if they'd started a bit better, 11-4 half was not good enough for them. They didn't give themselves enough room to make the comeback happen. And ultimately, they need to shape up for this next map, because they still can get 3 points from this. That's the main thing. Yeah, it's a 2-map situation. If they win this next one, they can still have a chance at pushing for that top 7 spot.
And that's what they need as well, is splitting the series, getting at least, hopefully, a majority of points or 3 points from each game. Can they do that? We will find out after the break. We'll be delving back into our series here between Space Soldiers and North.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, The Road to Odense, Betway, MSI, Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.